I get a feeling there's going to be a riot.
I don't read the newspapers because they all have ugly prints.
Yes! Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Tinfoil Hat. You guys love the show. I'm so thankful. I love doing it. You know, I was telling people all the stuff going on. They're like, man, you work a lot. And I'm like, I don't work at all. I actually, everything I do, I love to do. And this is part of it. The Tinfoil Hat community is amazing. You guys have been so kind. You're loving the videos. You're loving the podcast. Thank you to everybody who helped make The Diabolical the #1 stand-up comedy album on iTunes over the weekend. We got the #2. We got the #2, but Adam Carolla had a $4.99 podcast. That doesn't count. I had the only stand-up comedy, which is totally different. Just to put out, hey, me and my buddy talking and charge people for it is not the same as honing over an hour, a year and a half of an album, and then editing it down, put it out. So you guys made the #1. That's the second time in a row one of my albums have gone, and I'm all very thankful. Dying Laughing is out. Check it out on all video demand, which is kind of cool. I had the #1 stand-up album and the #1 movie on iTunes almost at the same time, so I'm very blessed for that. And then Appleton, Wisconsin! I'm coming to the Skyline. March 30th through April 1st, I will be there. And then the following weekend, I am in Calgary at the Comedy Cave. I believe it's April 4th through the 9th. So that is the business at hand. I'm very thankful you guys are all in my life. Thank you. Real quick, excited. Not real quick. We're in it to win it. Excited to have this next guy on my podcast. Even before I started doing a conspiracy theory podcast, he was here. We were talking conspiracies at one of my favorite clubs to do, and I mean that with all honesty, the Ha Ha Cafe. I love performing there, even though Terry's like, son, you are too dirty. Son, you're too dirty. And then Vincent O'Shannessy, and I mean her butt, and he jumps around. Maybe if I was cuter, and that's how I realized I'm starting to get old, is when the female bookers won't let me get away with cute guy shit. This guy performs there all the time. We have done the world. We did stand up all over the world together. And we'll get into that real quick. But please welcome Aaron Bowman, everybody.
What's up?
Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me, man. It's awesome.
You and I toured. We did Adam Hunter, a good friend, our mutual good friend, MMA Roasted podcast. He booked both of us on the road, and it was a very interesting gig because we were following a tour of Mitch Fattel, who had just supposedly gotten a standing O, but he was dirty. That one guy on the entire base actually tried to write a letter to President Obama and try to get it so he banned any dirty words on these tours, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. 12 hours before we left, we got this handout. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about this. You can't talk too many rapes in the military. Blah blah fucking blah. So we had to. I just panicked. I mean, because my material went down to about 8 minutes.
Yeah, but you were hosting, so 8 minutes might be
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going on right before Adam, and I'm like, because when they say you gotta be clean, they don't mean just cuss words and sex. They mean
Right.
safe. You gotta be
Right.
safe. They're like, what happened to newspaper boys? You know, and they're like, that's what they want to hear. They don't want you just not swearing. And it was just, and it's so weird because when you go to do a military gig, military people are basically college kids minus, I don't know how to say, classroom savvy. Because they're not dumb. They're obviously smart people, but they decide not to go to college, or they're trying to make money to go to college. And I much respect and was very appreciative of the opportunity to go entertain the troops.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
You know,
you did really well though. You crushed it.
Thank you.
Most
You did
of the
great.
time.
I did great. We enjoyed Filipino cover bands everywhere we went.
Singapore.
People don't realize that Filipino cover bands are huge around the world.
Right.
They are this, there's a comedian named Joe Coy. He's a famous comic. And if if he does shows, he'll do the Irvine Improv for 2 weeks sold out. 2 weeks sold out. And if he doesn't sing in his act, his crowd gets pissed. Filipinos love singing.
Remember we got to Diego Garcia, and a Filipino contract worker 4 or 5 days before had been eaten by a shark.
Yes.
So not only could we not be dirty, we couldn't do any shark jokes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there goes my set then.
There goes
No
that
more.
power 30 on shark
Yeah.
that I'm known for. Aaron, you know I'm the shark comic.
It's true. Yeah. But you crushed
Sammy
it.
the Shark Tripoli.
Yeah, Sammy the Shark Tripoli. I love it. Aaron, you are in a movie coming out real quick. Can we push it?
Counterclockwise it's called. It's on iTunes, Amazon Prime, couple other streaming services, hoping for Netflix. But if you want
That's
to
where
stream
the
it on
movies are
Amazon
going
Prime,
now.
yeah.
That's where the
Yeah.
movies are going. They're all going to, like, the movie I was in, Dying Laughing, was in theaters while it was on video demand.
Yeah.
So you could go to the theater, get the theater experience, but you could also watch it on Apple, iTunes, all that stuff. And that's so, like, if your movie goes, let's say, #1 on iTunes right now, that doesn't mean as much. It's still cool.
Right,
But in like 5 years, 10 years, that's going to mean a lot.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's where everyone's going.
That's the new way.
And especially now that movies are like $15 a pop, $20.
Yep.
I went and saw Logan for the movie. What's that podcast called? Those
Comedy Film Nerds.
comedy film nerds. Yeah. So I went there. I tried to
Proud
like,
member of HPC.
Yeah. And so I went there, and it was $19. I didn't realize it was one of those special theaters where they
Yeah.
have like,
Yep.
oh, you have a waiter, a butler. You ever go to a movie theater where you have a butler? It's really great. Gives you hand jobs, has a good time. For $19, that's good value. But now it's like it's so expensive, you might not want to go right out the gate. You know, you might want to just watch it at home.
Yeah. I live over close to here, so I go to
Give us
Universal.
the exact address so we can stalk you.
I go to Universal City Walk, and that's a crapshoot because, yeah, you're paying for IMAX $25 to get in, and you don't know if you got the local high school crew that's going to stand up and talk through the whole thing or start a fist fight. It's like, it's a big risk going to the theater.
I do jokes on stage, but whenever there's one black person in the crowd, it always gets uncomfortable. But young black youth love talking on their speakerphone. It is unbelievable. It's always young black youth. It's always. Like, if there's someone who's yelling and screaming at his wife in LA, it's probably an Armenian, okay? If there's somebody who's driving like shit, you can always be like, this time it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. And you pull up and it's always an Asian. And always an Asian guy fucking driving like shit. And if there's someone talking loudly on their speakerphone, when you could hear the other conversation, it's young black youth.
Yeah. Yep.
You can call me racist. I'm just calling it like I see it. Anyway, speaking of young black youth, you and I were at the Ha Ha Cafe. We started talking about the stuff. This election, the last election, changed the way kind of I saw stuff happening. And, it's weird when you see stuff happening in real time, and then there's this blowback from the mainstream media and most of your friends in the fact that, oh, that's not real. That's not really happening. That's not going on. And, as I saw, like, Hillary trying to kneecap and the DNC kneecap Bernie Sanders, I'm like, no, it's happening. Everyone's like, nope, nope, nope. And you're like, whoa, there's something going on that nobody else sees. And it's crazier. And then it starts confirming everything. Like, we had, which will lead us into your thing. Greg Carlwood was on here, and he started talking about, Middle Earth and that, if you think, and everyone's like, Miller's bullshit. There's no aliens down there. And then he goes, well, look at Christianity. What is hell? Hell is the middle of earth. There's demons and there's fire. What's in the middle of earth? The heat, and there's alien lizard people there. What looks like demons? Alien lizard people. Not saying it's happening, but it's like, whoa, that's kind of interesting,
Yeah, I love that dude, Higher Side Chats.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
He can take a topic and he'll discuss it, and he just takes in the information, lets the person present it as they present it, and he doesn't try to sell you on it one way or the other. He just listens to it. Whether you don't really know if he believes it or not, which doesn't really matter. He's just getting the information out. Because sometimes in these matters, it's like some people are immediately open to it. Other people, they just can't hear it. Their first word out of their mouth is, nah, no
Yep,
way.
yep.
It's like when you came to me at the Ha-Ha, and I always tell people this story, you came in and you were getting back from the Hollywood Bowl watching Kanye West concert, and you literally walked up to me and you go, man, I just saw Kanye West. I go, oh, nice. And you go, when did hip-hop become like this demonic, weird fire thing with these weird symbols and dances? And I go, and I just said to you, I go, yeah, that's because it's they worship the devil.
Yes.
And then you were open to it, and so now here we sit.
Here we
But, like,
are.
Some people.
This is the podcast. This is it. I talked about you were cool enough to come on. It is Illuminati. It is Satan worship, black magic within the world of hip hop. Now, forever, we always knew, rock and roll was the devil's music. And I've always said that the problem with rock and roll is that nobody worships the devil anymore.
Right.
It was so much better when you
Exactly.
worshiped the devil. Now, before we get into this, why do you think people don't believe in conspiracy theories? And then we'll get into your whole thing. I always like to know why my guests think that people, when you present them with some information, they're like, fuck that.
I think they're afraid.
They're afraid.
I think intuitively they know something bigger is going on, and if they start to look at it and it just happens to be real, then they have to make changes. And people, they're afraid to change. They're afraid to look themselves in the mirror and see what they're all about.
It's also something to the point where they can't believe they were being lied to by people they
Right.
think they know that they don't
Yep.
really know.
Yeah.
And it's like, the whole this episode of Homeland on Showtime this whole season is the greatest season I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the deep state, all that shit, and it's all playing out right there, and you're like, holy
Yeah.
fuck.
I love Homeland.
It's almost like they have inside information, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? So when we were growing up in the 80s, the 50s and 60s had passed, obviously, and we all heard, it's like they used to think Elvis did the devil's music and everyone was making fun of him, and they're like, man, you old people are so dumb, man. It's just rock and roll, man. It's just rock and roll. You can't handle it, dude, because it's all about partying and rocking and getting weird, And, which is very funny because in comedy, and then we'll get into your thing. Comedy now, I tell people people freak out when they see older people. I go, no, these are now the flower child kids.
Yep.
They were all doing drugs. They all have herpes, man.
Mm-hmm.
All these fucking 70 and 80-year-olds were from that year where everybody had herpes because they were all fucking each other.
Yeah.
And it's like the 40s and 50s elderly people are dead. It's now it's our grandparents, our parents, and then maybe a little older that we're all doing drugs and fucking getting weird. They're a lot more open-minded to this. So
Sure. They were doing lewds and having orgies and
they were the Elvis.
doing blow.
Elvis was when they were really young, and then they got into the 60s, the Grateful Dead, and all that shit. And that's where, hey, Satan! Everybody's worshiping Satan. And how did you first get into the whole idea of Satanism within the music industry?
Gee, you know what? I think I was watching something, and I think it was like a guy had come out and he was like, Disney's got all this weird satanic symbolism in it, blah, blah, blah. So I started watching it, and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. I don't immediately start to believe something, so I'll just start looking at it. And then, of course, when you start looking at that stuff, in your feed comes whatever. So I look, and it's like a Rihanna worships the devil thing, and then so you watch it, and I have a little bit of knowledge of like Freemasonry and the symbolism. Like I've loved Jordan Maxwell, who, if you want to learn your like corporate logos and how far back they go and what they really mean, this guy he was doing this
What's his
work.
name?
Jordan Maxwell.
Maxwell. Okay,
He was
Jordan
doing this
Maxwell.
stuff like in the 60s when he would show up like in the back room of a public library, pull out a slide projector and going through and talking about this stuff way before the internet. He's probably 75 years old now. But he was taught by a guy named Manly P. Hall, who's like a high-level Mason Arthur and that kind of stuff. And what he says is when you look at Freemasonry, at the top is Luciferianism, Satan worship, Babylonian. They're worshiping these old religions that we think people stopped worshiping 2,000 years ago.
Right.
But in reality, they just went underground. And there's dudes out there still worshiping that stuff today
Yes.
in high-level positions of
Yes.
power. So not
Pedo
everybody
Gates.
in Hollywood is the quote-unquote Illuminati, but there is a small sect of devil worshippers that are in the entertainment business. And once you see it and you know the symbols, it begins to make sense to you because that's how they communicate with each other.
You always hear like the Jews run Hollywood. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think it's the devil.
Yeah, the devil. I know, because you're like, wait, because then you start looking. It sounds ridiculous, and then you look like, wait a second, why is Rihanna in her music video inside of a cube, which is the free Masonic symbol?
Okay, we're gonna get into all that. So let's start from the beginning, dude. Let's start from you saw this guy and hold on a second. Where we go? John Todd. Let's start there.
Okay. Yeah, exactly what you were talking about in the 60s and 70s. This guy supposedly, nobody can find him anymore. He's got this lecture. He did a series of lectures in like 76. He was an insider in the music business, right? He's the guy when we were kids in the 80s that you would see. Remember, the Christian preacher would be telling you that's the devil's music, and you just kind of laughed. Like,
Yeah.
So what? But this guy comes out and tells you how it works. That they would, bands like, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, they would record the album. And the record label, before the album was released, they had a room upstairs with a chamber in it, and that was a satanic altar. They would put the master tape on the altar. They would do a satanic ritual, and then they'd press it for wide release. So that demonic entities are now in the master being spread out through the masses. So he talks about that kind of stuff. And then you see and then little things start to come together like, Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page bought one of Aleister Crowley's homes in the country. Led Zeppelin lived in this guy's house who was a high-level, satanic Illuminati.
Yes.
Jimmy Page bought his apartment in London, and they would live in this guy's place, and he's known as the most evil man in the world ever, whatever. 666, he's the beast. He supposedly went into...
Who's the most evil man in the world?
Aleister Crowley.
Really?
Yeah, and he died, I think, in the 40s.
We had one of the first ones we did, Rachel was Rachel's last name, but we had a girl named Rachel on, and she was talking about how much she hated Aleister Crowley because she was into Satanism, but her version is love, peace, everybody loves each other.
Sure.
Which is now your version of Satanism, her version of Satanism, and then Greg Carlward's version, which is space aliens. So
Right.
now we have three different versions of it, not saying which one's right or wrong, but so interesting.
Okay, here's the hard part it took me a while to understand is that Satanism, where you actually worship the devil, the actual Luciferians, the Aleister Crowleys, they don't actually worship this person named the devil. What it is it's the ideal that Lucifer is the bringer of the light. So God cast out Lucifer, the angel, out of heaven because he wanted to become a god, right? So Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, living perfectly. Everything was great. And the serpent, Lucifer, came up and tempted them with the fruit,
Right.
which the apple on the tree means the intellect, the idea that if you eat from the tree you're not supposed to, you'll gain knowledge and then you can become a god. So
Right.
Luciferianism isn't really worshiping a devil like it's a actual entity. It's the idea that you yourself become the creator. So what's going on now is they've tried to get people away from believing in God and believing that they themselves are the creator. So it's disguised itself as New Age religion, theosophy, spirituality, crystals. They take pieces of these ancient Babylonian and Egyptian, Roman religions, and they kind of put them together. But the bottom line is that you are the creator. And the way you get to become a creator is what Aleister Crowley says, which his main thing was, do what thou wilt and let that be the whole of the law. If you do enough awful stuff, eventually you get used to it. It doesn't become that big of a deal to you because there's no heaven or hell. You're becoming a god. So the more awful things you can do, kill people, drink blood, do pedophilia, homosexual stuff, bestiality, you get rid of those predispositions to think that's bad, and then you can create whatever you want.
Okay.
Because you have no inhibitions. That's Aleister Crowley
So
Luciferianism. So
homosexuality and that thing is an evil thing?
it's not an evil thing, but it's a way to become a conscious co-creator. Like it's a way to become to pull the energy out of those kind of acts. It's all
Okay.
energy stuff.
Right,
they
right,
do
right.
homosexuality, they drink
It's
blood, whatever it
interesting.
is, and that gives them
Maybe because of
the
back
power.
at a time when being gay was seen as evil, that could be seen as an evil act.
Right.
And I just see it as somebody just want to get their freak on,
Sure. Yeah.
which is fine. I do something about that and the Aleister Crowley stuff is like that's a big thing in this pedogate stuff. It's
Yeah.
like do this evil shit to these children that maybe you do enough of that you don't care, and then. And we'll get back to the hip hop. Is that now you see how these people can just start wars, throw bombs,
Right.
not even think twice about it. That's so interesting,
Yeah.
dude. That's another piece that just comes together. That's so, Aaron, like think about that, right? If you're doing evil shit, right, over and over again, bombing people, like let's take Alex Rodriguez to do a baseball thing. How much evil fucking shit is that guy? Cheated, done this, done that, done this, cheated on his girlfriend. Eventually he doesn't care anymore to the point where he almost doesn't believe he's doing anything evil.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there is no evil.
Aaron!
Yeah.
We finally got Aaron to agree on something. Go back to words with friends, Aaron. We're just fucking, this is just a fountain of knowledge.
I'm on Crowley's Wikipedia page. He did die in 47.
He did that. Thank you, Aaron.
Fact checking for you.
Aaron, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. You know,
I mean,
I'm
he
only
went
kidding
into
around with
to the Great Pyramid, right? And summoned some sort of demonic entity. I can't remember the name he gave it, but it channeled him out like a 500-page book in 72 hours. So that's they're drawing power from some sort of interdimensional place that they believe is real, while at the same time convincing the rest of the world that that stuff isn't real and God doesn't even exist. So it's a tricky place to be in. People don't want to believe in it.
How did everybody get connected to Elster? I mean, like, how does the word spread about him? Like, you know, he's not just some kook out there. Just does he meet like famous people? Is that like people seek him out? Is there, you know, word on the street? Do you know? I mean, you might not know this info, but
He was a MI5. He was like the British CIA.
yeah, dude, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of stuff we're talking about on Tinfoil Hat is
Yeah.
this intelligent agency. And again, going back to Treza's podcast, the last episode, if you want to check that out, Ancient Aliens, in which he's saying that, you know, the Adam and Eve stuff wasn't necessarily two people, but in fact two tribes that left, and that they are actually the elitists are the descendants of those two tribes, and that's why they're so protective of their bloodlines.
Right.
Which gets to elitism, which is royal family which is
Right.
CIA, which is what?
MI5 is like the
MI5.
early, you know, the James Bond.
100%, and the protection of this elite class of people from the rest of us.
Yep.
That's so interesting. So was he in MI5 or that he got recruited
I
in?
think he was in it, or one of the founders of it.
Who do you think these intelligent agencies are trying to protect? Like, what is the purpose? Just to protect the elites, do you think?
Yep.
Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, it's more they do more swaying of public opinion than actual like spy work where they're there is that's the thing that we think, oh, the CIA's out protecting us against Al Qaeda and ISIS and blah blah blah, but there's another part of it that goes into places and slowly through media and different things changes public perception to
Well,
make war seem
we've had
palatable.
Well, dude, look at the new thing about North Korea right now, right? You hear to North Korea? Oh man, we might have to go into them, which goes back to what was the general that talked about the 7 nation wars?
Like Petraeus.
No, before him, he ran for president. Anyways, the point is this: he goes, "Yeah, man, after 9/11, I go in and I see I meet with that guy who's head of the State Department, and he's like, man, we're going in Iraq." And they're like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, man, when you're a hammer, every problem is a nail."
I know
Then he
who
comes
you're
back
talking about.
3 weeks later. It's like, what's going on? It's like, man, now we're going into 7 countries. And he listed them. And every single one of them we have since gone into and taken out. And Black Jesus, we talked about on my podcast before.
Yeah.
Black Jesus, Obama didn't call them wars, they're conflicts. Therefore, he does not have to get congressional approval for military action. Now it's the one, North Korea. Oh, they don't guide. It's like, dude, this is all about central banks. This is all about Illuminati, all the Rothschild. And today was a great day. Rockefeller died today, so right now he should be somewhere getting fisted by some evil demons, right in his ass. That old piece of shit made the world a worse place. He's one of the people that own everything. Everybody wants, when you talk bankers, they want to talk anti-Semitism. Like, no, dude, the Rothschilds are Protestants. The Saudis are Middle Easterns. It's not about religion. It's about this power elite group of fucks that are running everything. And they do it through pop culture, which brings us back to your point.
Yeah, there's something about the Middle East that is it's oil and war, but there's some kind of spiritual component there too. That it's just each generation has to be over there doing something. Like Jordan Maxwell, he says Israel is a word that is taken from other words like Isis, Ra, and El. Isis is the Babylonian god, Ra is the Egyptian sun god, and El is the ancient word for the Phoenician Canaanite word for Saturn. So it's a deep spiritual place that's been going on for thousands of years.
Unbelievable.
And they all go there. Isis, Ra, El, Israel.
Jesus
So
Christ.
it's like, you just start to see, what does they call them? Conspiracy theorists don't believe in coincidences.
No,
that's what it is.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, there's too many. Like, and I want to get into this, but the whole saint worshiping of pedo-gay, there's like all these crazy things. Like, when I first came to the conclusion that the Clintons were in on this, was when I just started taking all this information from all these different articles. I go, this article, and I put together, and then you realize that, they had 5 different organizations all in the same block, all involved somehow with child trafficking and getting busted doing that shit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck, man. There's no smoking gun. There will never be a smoking gun. But there's so many coincidences that you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
These have to be the most unlucky people in the fucking world, or they're up to something. So let's get into this, dude. Where are we at first? So there's the 70s and 80s and today's hip hop. There was rock and roll. Where do you want to start? 50s? Do you have anything on 50s?
50s is just remember the old the blues men. They made the deal with the devil at the crossroads.
Awesome
so that's
movie
the first
with the
one.
Karate Kid.
Yeah, love the Karate Kid. And then the 60s and 70s is the rock and roll. Right?
Dylan's famous for saying he sold his soul to the devil in an interview.
Yep.
They sold
I've
it.
seen that. Yeah. He asked him on 60 Minutes, why are you still touring? He goes, I got to take care of the man upstairs. And he's like, who? And the God? He's like, well, not necessarily. 70s and 80s, still, I think, rock and roll, Motley Crue.
Yes, Aaron?
I'm just saying Dylan should have got a better voice in that deal.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. But maybe it's just like the whole thing. You always see it in like pop culture, where like the devil will give it to you, but he never gives you exactly what you want.
Yep.
It's like a version of it. So maybe that was it. I'm not. Again, like I'm just putting the information out there, dude. You never know. But it's like really coinky dinky that he said that. You know, real coinky dinky.
It's a weird thing to say. And then you see other people who say it, like Katy Perry, like people they're mentioning, like, well, I sold my soul to the devil on the Tonight Show. Like, it's a weird. See,
Yeah, the Tenacious D.
yeah.
Tenacious D said they sold their soul to the devil.
I mean,
Aaron, they said it. You don't just come out and say that. It's not like, hey, dude, hey, what do you want from Jamba Juice? Hey, you want a razzmatazz? By the way, I sold my soul to the devil. You don't just say that, Aaron.
They're comedians, Sam. You just say some stuff.
I say what? What did I say? It's weird.
Some stuff.
Okay, Aaron, we're just saying, Aaron.
Comedians.
We're just saying, dude. We're just saying that's coinky dink, okay?
so I get. Oh, so the overall whole point of this podcast and the whole series, however many years, is to get Aaron to believe. me.
Yes.
What's the over?
Yeah.
200 episodes. We got to bring like Rihanna's got to come in here and shapeshift.
Yeah.
Like we're
right in front of
right
you.
in front of him, and
And he
then
still
that
wouldn't
would
believe
help.
it. He's
Like,
like,
eh.
do you guys spike my drink? This is
CGI.
just acid. What is this? Is this real life? Aaron, you're going to believe us eventually.
I hope so.
Probably the world will come to an end by the time that happens, but we will get you to believe. So we got rock and roll 80s. I'm sure I'm sure Madonna sold her soul. Everybody's selling their soul.
Yep, Madonna.
Okay, within hip hop, do you see it now? Well, what's the transition? How come it goes from rock and roll, do you think? And it was all Led Zeppelin. Who else was in the rock and roll? I mean, who else was into Satanism, do you think?
In rock and roll,
With like, I'm sure Black Sabbath, right, man?
I would
There's-
think so. Judas Priest, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know much about like Glenn Danzig.
Yeah.
I went to his concert when I was in high school. That dude was awesome. But his, I think one of his album covers, like the Baphomet. You know, that's
Who's the Baphomet?
the Baphomet is the like primary idol that the Luciferians or Satanists worship. It's got the head of like a goat, right? And then it's hermaphroditic. It's
But it's shredded. It's like both
shredded,
legs
but it has
shredded.
breasts, and then it's got one hand pointed up and then one hand pointed down.
So there's
like
a
that.
chance it's like a German swimmer. Is that
It's
what
a
you're saying from
yeah,
the German
exactly.
Olympic
It's a
swimming team?
hermaphroditic, like satanic god thing.
Do you
with
think
with
that everybody in hell is bisexual? Do you think that's why it's hermaphroditic? Like everybody's like, just like, hey man, stick meat in holes.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't have any problem with gay people. I don't want to say that.
No,
oh,
no, no, no.
If you're gay, you worship the devil, or that's a result of.
I've
devil
done weird
worshiping.
shit in
It's
my
not-
life,
yeah,
so I mean,
it's
I'm not
just-
judging anybody.
I think it's like a.
A mouth is a mouth. That's what my
Yeah.
grandpa used to say.
It's a certain. It's just a ritual. Like what's the Chili Peppers album? Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, right? Magic with a K. So they get energy, power, creative energy
Wow.
from the rituals, sex, magic. That's why they go and do the secret parties where everybody wears a mask and they're giant orgies and they set up candles in certain formations and in the pentagram and they do these
ever-
rituals because they get power from them.
I would never go to them because I'm not that hung. I went to an orgy before, and I had the small stick there, and it was
Yeah.
not- and I have 6 inches of thunder, but there were some big tree trunks there, and I'm just
Yeah.
I don't want to sell my soul and get laughed
the
at by
stu-
the
yeah.
chicks.
Yeah.
That'd be really weird, right, Aaron? We were like, Satan! And they're like, oh, look at it. You're not... like, I might sell my soul for a bigger dick. I'm not saying if Satan's listening. I'm just making an offer. Make an offer, Aaron? Aaron, would you sell your soul for like 3 more inches of just murder?
No, it's cool.
You're cool then?
Yeah, I'm cool.
3 more inches
What
of
about
just
like
crush
the
fat.
devil.
12 solid
Girthy.
inches and perfectly formed.
Just
like,
girthy.
I'm married. What am I
veiny,
going
like-
to do with it?
Would
know
you
what I mean?
sell your soul for a shape-shifting dick? Like it would be different sizes depending on how your wife feels. It might save your marriage.
No, I think it's fine.
Okay. All right. So, when do you start realizing stuff in hip hop?
Well, That's what I mean. I have a little bit of the symbol literacy, and then when you start, when I see the premise, devil worshippers in the hip hop industry or in the Hollywood entertainment.
Do you
in
have any
general,
examples?
You just start
in
watching there's one video where it's got Rihanna in a cube, which they worship. The Freemasons, their symbol is the cube, the square, the compass and the square. The cube is a three-dimensional square, right?
Keep going.
Look at like the symbol for Chevron gasoline. It's two cubes on top of each other. And she's in a cube, and she's formed her body into the shape of the Baphomet and put in the video, and then subliminally it goes into the subconscious, giving them power. Lil Wayne, they do the hand gestures, they do this thing, the horn sign. That's not hook 'em horns or rock and roll. That's the two devil horns. This is the 666, right?
Right.
They do the symbol where they go like they cover one eye. Jay-Z does this where he puts his eye in the triangle. The
Oh,
the
yeah,
triangle
yeah,
that's
yeah,
on the
where-
back of the dollar bill.
Right.
That's the eye of Horus. Which that eye, the eye of Ra, the eye of Horus, looks kind of like the pineal gland. It's also the logo for Time Warner Cable, right?
Yeah,
Time
you're-
Warner. Yeah.
You're totally right.
Yeah. That's the Baphomet right there.
Let's see. Oh, let's see this. Let's see this. Okay, billionaires.
So
Beyonce worships the devil.
well, Beyonce is married to Jay-Z.
Right.
Jay-Z is one of the biggest names in hip hop. I think he was
100%.
with Rockefeller Records, right? Rockefeller.
Oh, dude, look at this. Yeah, man. If you look it up here,
You see the
right up
Baphomet?
here, you see the Baphomet within Beyonce's
Yeah.
and Beyonce's I Am. You see that? Holy shit.
I am. That's the
Aaron, what do you
Luciferian
think?
doctrine.
I Am?
Yeah, I am the creator. I am the God. I've gotten rid of all my inhibitions.
Wow. Wow.
Now she'll wear a Baphomet ring on her finger on her microphone hand that she sings into. Now if you look at Beyonce, she has a
Oh,
thing.
there's your, yep.
She has a thing called the alter ego. Her is named Sasha Fierce, right?
Yes.
Supposedly, in performers, they can do certain rituals, like they'll go, like Eazy-E used to do it. He would go backstage and he would say the Our Father backwards several times with the lights out. That brings a demon through you. Now,
What is it backwards?
it's the Our Father who art in heaven. You start at the end and go backwards. I won't fucking do it. I mean,
I won't do it either.
I don't
but
know
if
if
you
I
wanna do
believe
at
in it,
home,
but
let
yeah,
us
I'm
know
not
how
doing.
it
I'm not
goes.
going into the bathroom to do it
Dude,
for myself,
oh my
just in
God,
case.
dude, look at this.
Do what thou wilt. That and let that be the whole of the law. These dudes are they're followers of Aleister Crowley, just like Robert
Wow,
Page,
Jay-Z
Jimmy Page.
in this picture up. If you're listening at home, we're playing this video from YouTube, and I'll give the YouTube video. I don't want to play it the whole time, Aaron, because I don't want this guy thinking we're just playing his video. But in this video, at around 6:21 into it, Jay-Z has a pullover, a sweat jacket that says "Do what thy wilt," and that is an Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
So
Aaron, thoughts?
I've always thought Jay-Z was garbage.
Yeah. Okay.
And my wife doesn't listen, so I can say Beyonce sucks too.
Oh shit! Oh, she loves Beyonce.
Oh, loves it.
but here's
Why do women love Beyonce? Is that
they-
the work of the devil?
because it's a spell. They do spell cast rituals in public and on TV, and it takes you over. But so here's the thing about Beyonce. She has this alter ego called Sasha Fierce. So when she's on the interview on Oprah, she's Beyonce. She grew up a Christian singer and lovely young lady. You see her on stage or in a concert, she admits to this, she becomes this person called Sasha Fierce, which is a highly sexual person who can do the dance moves that Beyonce can't hit. She can hit the notes that she can't hit. Now, if you look, Beyonce, you can see Beyonce does one, Lady Gaga, the Pussycat Dolls, a bunch of these girls do. It's called the Masonic chair dance. You ever seen the girls come out in concert and they're doing this dance around a chair?
Yeah.
It's sexually, they're mounting the chair. You can see Madonna do it. So anyway, all these like pop stars and R&B singers do this chair dance, and it looks really cool. It's choreographed brilliantly, but then you go pull up a Masonic chair dance, and you can watch a girl, and it looks like it's either in the late 80s or the early 90s, and she's performing in a Masonic temple in front of a bunch of old dudes. They're doing the exact chair dance. They're doing an ancient dance in public at a concert or at the Grammys.
Shut up.
And you go, yeah, maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe they're just doing this cool chair
What's
dance
it
that
called?
their choreographer. Look up Masonic chair dance.
Oh shit, dude! I just
And
found
you'll see, there it is. That's the one,
Top
the
one?
second one.
the second one.
Now that's the original. This is inside of a temple in front of the old white dudes.
Dude, this
And you'll see the girl doing it, and she's very good. I would. It's got to be 90s, but I look at the grainy, like,
Oh, and
right. You see this dance. See the compass in the square behind her. See the pyramid with the eye in it. This chick's a good dancer doing her little
she's
chair
probably
dance.
not there by. Holy shit! Holy shit!
Right. Now-
Aaron, this is some Beyonce shit.
Yeah.
Look at this chick worshiping Satan, trying to give boners to old guys.
I mean, look at the old white dudes.
Look at the old white guys like,
Now-
I'm gonna eat her asshole when we kill her.
We're going to drink this bitch's blood. And now you go, after you get off of this video, and you can go watch any number of like female performers doing this dance. It's like a common,
Oh my god, dude.
you know, it's a common like choreographed thing. What was the girl's name from the Pussycat Dolls? The dark-haired
Oh,
lead.
here it is. Here is the we're acting like we know what we're doing, and we're totally ripping this off. Here we go. Oh, good. They show both.
Yeah.
Look at this.
So now you're going. Okay, well,
the
how
faster Pussycat Dolls? Here, we'll do it right here. We'll start over. So that's it. Oh, she throws it? She throws it, Aaron? Look at that. Guys, what we're watching right now is this video where it's the faster Pussycat Dolls are just, you guys gotta look this up. This, holy shit. It's a, what's it called? Masonic chair dance. And then they also do one with the Pussycat Dolls. And is that the Pussycat Dolls? Yeah.
Yep.
Now, you gotta feel bad for the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls because she sold her soul and nobody bought her record, right? Nobody bought her record.
she got 6 months of money.
Yeah, she got 6.
But if you also too, and I don't know about this video, but the other ones, if you slow it down, you'll see them. They're doing their signs like they do this one. They put the finger over
Okay,
the
so
lip.
they put the fingers over the lips.
They do the 666, which
Yep.
is the OK symbol. They do
Okay.
the one eye. There's Beyonce doing the chair dance. I mean, that's Gaga and Beyonce. Gaga's a big time Luciferian.
Really?
Her Super Bowl this past performance. Here's the story of Lucifer.
Okay, break this down.
He falls. Lucifer is the morning star, Venus, right?
Right.
Who God cast out of heaven. He pushed him out of heaven, put him onto earth.
Right.
Now, God is the creator up in heaven. Lucifer is the creator on earth. So that's her beginning of the halftime show. She's up on the thing, dressed like a star in her silver costume. Then she flies down from heaven, lands, and then she does her performance. And on stage behind her are upside down pentagrams,
Oh,
half
stop,
of them at the
dude.
Super Bowl.
Stop this, dude.
So, I mean, the coincidence would be that, the choreographers like to use pentagrams at the Super Bowl halftime show. But that's not. It's a ritual. It's a large, huge ritual to gain energy from the masses so they can complete their spell cast, their conscious co-creation. They believe they create whatever they want by using their own inhibitions and our energy. And we sit here and think that none of this exists because it's not on CNN.
Yep, you're completely right.
Yeah, she flies down from heaven.
Yep.
And then at the end of it, she's standing on a half of a pentagram. So,
they can't show it. Fuck, man. I'm sorry. I know you guys are like, dude, we can't hear any of this. I'm trying to make it happen for you. You know?
like, and And I'll tell you where you can go, because these people are some of the ones I watch that are really, really well versed in the subject matter. This guy named, his name's The Black Child, his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Oh, is he the guy who talks about Nelly always taking it in the ass?
Yep.
Oh, he's like, Nelly, you know you took it in the ass, Nelly. You
All of
know
it.
you took it.
This
Ellie
dude
be
knows
taking
everything.
an ass. Ellie be taking an ass. Here we go. Talk us through this, but so people just listening can do. So the Super Bowl halftime show opens.
Here she is.
She's at the top. A lot of people think this is CGI, not made up. That this part was shot earlier. She's on top. She's looking at the camera. She looks like David Bowie from Star Child, right?
Well,
So she's doing this. She's in the sky, and she's singing. I now, even though she worships Satan, I would bang Lady Gaga.
of course, the Satan worshiping pussy is the best.
It really
best
is,
around.
right?
I mean,
And I hear that chicks who love Satan love anal.
here's a little backstory, though, just kind of skipping around a little bit. A lot of these stars, to get to where they are in the entertainment industry, now you have to be talented. They come to you. You have to be good. Anybody just can't join the Illuminati.
You can't be like,
right?
holla, I want to sell my soul.
Right, but what you do is they come to you, they give you a deal, and then to go further, you have to do something. A lot of it is a sacrifice. You have to kill one of your friends or somebody in your family. So now the personality she has, Lady Gaga, she was just a regular chick. Her best friend was a pop star who was more like Lady Gaga.
What is that called? Blood sacrifice.
Blood sacrifice.
No, okay,
Her best friend was killed by falling off the top of a building. After she died, she took on her friend's personality and became
and her mom
Lady
tried
Gaga.
to sue her forever.
Yeah.
There's
So-
actually a whole thing. Her mom put out a video showing all the
Yep.
similar shit, and the industry killed it because at the time, which still probably is the same thing, Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber were the only people making the music industry money.
Yeah. Huge. See the pentagrams?
Oh, the pentagrams on this. Aaron, did you see that?
I do see
The pentagram, the five-pointed star.
Aaron, watch this. So, guys, she's on the top. They do they shoot back on the video, and in the corner of, and you can look up this, in the corner of every angle of this stage are pentagrams. Pentagrams.
Yeah, pentagram is the 5 points are the earth, air, fire, water, spirit.
Yep.
We have one in Washington, D.C. called the Pentagon, which is a pentagram without the points. So
Snaps, Aaron. Holy shit. It's deep. It's everywhere. So Lady Gaga kills her friend. Word is Jay-Z. Jay-Z killed Aaliyah.
Yep.
Aaliyah was the one that he sacrificed. Now, there's somebody in Hollywood I know that our friend died, and him and one other person blew up. I'm not going to say their name. Not they did on purpose, but it's like kind of weird. You kill somebody, you blow up.
Yep.
I've slowly tried to get Tebow to OD on alcohol.
Kanye West, he lost his mother, remember, in a plastic surgery accident, supposedly. And then he's on stage in one of his meltdowns, and he goes, "My mom died for this fame shit." So what happens is if you start to get out of line in the hip hop industry, if you start talking about stuff you shouldn't be publicly talking about, all of a sudden you end up with an arrest. Oh, Lil Wayne got arrested with drugs and guns. That's them telling you, listen, dude, get back in fucking line or your career is done.
Are you telling me Lil Wayne is supposedly into the devil? What makes
for
you
sure,
think that?
100%.
What makes you think that?
The tattoos, the symbolism. He talks about being raped as a boy and how he liked it.
How he liked it?
Yeah. He, if you look in his videos, it's got a lot of this symbolism. They do a lot of the hand signs. That's why the guys in the hip-hop industry, they use that Amex Black card.
Why?
Because the hip-hop guys, they don't want them to have cash. So you can have a card and you can buy cars and houses and bottles and bitches and whatever you need all on the card because they can control you with that or cut you off. But what they won't let you do is stockpile cash, because if you have cash, then you can get away from it. So that's why I've heard it. a few times that's why a lot of the guys smoke so much weed is they don't just happen to love weed, but it's because they gotta stay, stoned to get rid of some of the feelings of some of the stuff they did to get where they're at.
Right.
They all lost somebody. Eminem lost D12, I think. Snoop Dogg. Remember Jennifer Hudson? Her whole family was gunned down in a home invasion.
Murdered.
You remember Robert Plant lost 2 of his kids. I mean, the list goes on and on where you have these celebrities and, they have. How many people do you know personally who've known somebody in their family that got murdered? But then you look at these famous people and they all have somebody who was murdered in their life.
Yeah, that's so true.
Damon Dash, Aaliyah, T.I., his cousin Dollar, Suge Knight killed Tupac, Ludacris, Camouflage, Lady Gaga, Lena Morgana, that was her friend's name. Soulja Boy lost his brother.
Holy
Game lost
shit.
Billboard. Eminem lost Proof. 50 Cent lost Jam Master Jay, Dr. Dre, Nate Dogg and his son, KRS-One, Scott LaRock, Alicia Keys, her friend, Travolta, his son, Marie Osmond, her son. It's just it's weird. It just, Wyclef Jean lost his father. And I mean, I know people's parents die and shit, but.
What about, you say the Kardashians? You say the Kardashians worship Satan. Do you think they're witches?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Well, if you look at the Kardashians, they do a lot of, they always wear black and white, which is the duality world, the as above, so below. Every Masonic hall has the black and white checkerboard floor in it. And people always wonder, why are they so famous? Why do people care about them? Because they're a coven of witches, and the mother trained them, and they have a spell on people. And any man that comes into their life is somehow destroyed. Lamar,
Crash every
Kanye,
one of them.
Bruce Jenner.
Bruce Jenner won't go away. He'll do anything to stay in there.
I don't think he's an actual trans person. I think he got caught up in some kind of spell, and they made homage to their Baphomet, the hermaphrodite god. And I don't think that dude was always a guy battling with wanting to be a woman.
What? You
that's a spell.
You think that he's under a spell and that's why he's dressing like a woman?
Yeah, look at what's her name? Scott, the husband of what's her name?
Not
Courtney.
Courtney.
The little one.
Yeah, the hot one.
He lost both his parents in the course of a year, and that dude's going off the rails. He drinks all the time, because man, you end up killing somebody you love to go up levels, in these organizations, and you feel like shit. You realize, man, some of these people, they can't be alone. Lady Gaga, I heard, can't be alone, or what's her name?
Well, how about Selena Gomez, who has to go to therapy every day 5 days a week? What is the point of being famous if you have to be in therapy every day because some evil shit just went down?
Well, they also believe first of all, they'll do certain things the Skull and Bones that George Bush was a member of. To get in the fraternity at Yale, you sit in a coffin and you masturbate and you tell all your dirty little secrets. So that's why you see in the public now that sometimes these guys have to take the fall. They have to be the bad guy, or they have to get caught with something. I think Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton, it's like a humiliation ritual. You do that when you're coming up in Masonry. You get humiliated there, because later on, 20 years down the road, you might have to take the bullet and look like the jerk off. So they do different things like that to keep people.
Well, within
line.
the mob, they have you, and in gangs, they have you whack somebody so that you can't squeal on them because they can squeal on you.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is huge. And Obama, and I love Obama. I know people are weird with Obama. I mean, I don't know. I guess love is a way too strong word. It's hard for me not to think of him as a good guy because he was changed and all this shit, and then you look back on him and all this crazy stuff that he was involved with, and how he was just fast forward. He was part of the CIA at a very early age too. Him and Anderson Cooper were both in CIA programs in college, and you don't just get into that unless they want you into that.
Yep.
And to be fast track, like what evil shit do you think that guy did to go become the youngest president ever? Like some shit went on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's like, so going back to this, like, you know, like the Lady Gaga is a huge fan of that famous satanic artist. There's pictures of her all over the place with that woman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like Will Ferrell was at that thing in all white
Yeah.
at one of those spirit cooking things. And like you even mention Will Ferrell in the spirit cooking, people like look at you like you're retarded.
Well, yeah.
But you like, there's pictures of him there. There's pictures of Will Ferrell. I'm going to find him. We're going to end it here in a couple seconds. But there's pictures of Will Ferrell spirit cooking. And you're like, holy shit. And you're like, okay. The guy is obviously incredibly famous.
Yeah. Well, the thing is once if you learn some of the symbols and some of the meanings behind the symbols, right? Then you can begin to see that it like hip hop is a great place to start. Like watch The Black Child, watch Holly Hood, watch KJ Osborne, watch Professor Griff, the guy he used to be in Public Enemy. This dude goes around to like bookstores and does these 5-hour-long presentations on all this stuff. And he was in the hip hop game. He got kicked out of Public Enemy. Super smart dude. But once you see the symbols and you recognize where they are,
shit, dude. Like this is a little girl not naked, but laying on top of a skeleton on top of her. And then, you know, it's like weird shit. Like, look at all these people there. Look at this. Look at all these famous actors that are there. It's just like, yeah, look at that guy. He looks like he's the guy from Miami Vice, probably one of them. Right? Look at that. Look at these guys. It's all, Will Ferrell's there. Dida was what's his face's ex-girlfriend?
Dita Von Teese, Marilyn Manson.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, what do you call
Look
it?
at this.
Because,
Look who's there. Look who's there.
yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy, dude. Will Smith was there. I can't find a picture of him, but he was there. Look who that is. Look who that is. Look who that is. Oh, look at that. Lionel Richie's bitch-ass daughter. Look at that. That's the famous actress. No, that is the famous satanic artist that everyone knows about. I'm trying to find the Will
I
Ferrell
think wasn't Hillary Clinton friends with her or something?
It's like you could look it up, man. Will Ferrell is in, like, he was at this famous, and like if you know anything about pedogate, she's a big part of that pedogate. The actresses, people are gonna kill me on this.
What do you call it? Right, Pizzagate was like those. There was a little girl who went missing over in Portugal or something, found dead, and then supposedly the Podesta brothers were there at the time. Like,
well, no, it's actually more interesting than that. It's very much it's very much like the JonBenet Ramsey case, in that their parents. The parents of that little girl, she had a very special eye. There was something about her eye that that people say that she was demanded, and she was a test tube baby, right? She was a test tube baby, and her parents did everything they could to stop the investigation. And that she was kidnapped, and 2 guys look like Podesta. There's also a guy who looks like Anthony Weiner. She's a famous Anthony Weiner. Here it is. This chick right here. Who is this lady?
oh yeah,
You know, who is this fucking lady? View page. Here we go. Here it is. Marina Abramovic. They all hang out with her. You know how old that woman is? Do you see that picture? You know, how old do you think this chick is?
she looks pretty young.
What would you
40,
say?
46?
She's 75 years
No
old.
way.
She's 70 years old.
Wow.
That woman is 70 years old, ma'am. And like, what parents let the kid take a picture with this woman?
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing with that girl you were talking about in Europe. Her parents stonewalled the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
She actually, the people were like outraged because they did literally nothing. Same thing with JonBenet Ramsey, is that their parents like stonewalled the whole thing. Like he was very high up in a business, all that shit. So, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Aaron, thoughts? Final thoughts, Aaron.
I mean, I think that lady looks 70.
You think she looks 70, Aaron?
Yeah. She's had some work done. She's had some fillers.
Really,
Could be
Aaron?
little
That
art
woman looks
Photoshop.
70.
Lucifer's blood.
Aaron, that woman looks 70. She looks my age. Are you
Not-
trying to
not
say
if you
I
look
look
at the
40?
eyes. Not if you look
if
at the
we
eyes.
we were standing together, you wouldn't think we were brother and sister.
No.
Holy shit, Aaron. That's how deep the denial is. You're doing ageism. You know?
No.
Man, Aaron, great podcast, dude.
Thanks for
I had a
having
lot
me,
of
man.
fun. The time
Yeah.
flew.
It does.
Aaron,
Goes
did
by
we learn
quick.
anything today?
Yeah, Jay-Z sucks.
Jay-Z, you hate Jay-Z?
I really don't like him, though.
He's kind of the ringleader.
Is it because you love the Lord?
No.
Okay.
It's just 'cause he's not good.
So let's see. Kanye, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, anybody else? Did they say Dr.
Rick
Dre?
Ross.
Rick Ross. All the shitty rappers.
Dr. Dre for sure.
Are you saying Eminem?
Diddy,
Are you
Usher, Eminem. Yep.
Oh, God.
Eminem has a tons of lyrics. If you scour through his lyrics, they are all over the place. How he sold his soul and
Really?
is upset with himself. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to sell your soul, what would you have to do? What's the procedure?
From what I hear, they come to you
Oh.
and they present you with your first thing. We'll give you your first platinum album. We'll put you on the road, and then if you want to go higher, you're gonna be given a few choices. You want to go through this door. You want the new cologne, the endorsements, and this. We're gonna take somebody. We're gonna kill somebody in your life. You won't know it. You won't know who it's gonna be. You won't know when. All you'll know is that when it's done, it's done. Or there's another way you can do it. They do it through the sex rituals. Like female artists will have to be involved in a sexual type of gangbang type of thing. Men have to have sex with other men. I've heard in the hip hop community the tattoos show the other guys in the know what they do. Oh, this kid's all tatted, Soldier Boy. He likes it in the fanny.
Really?
Yeah, you know.
Holy shit, Aaron. How many tats you got?
That would be 0.
When you have 0, what does that mean? You really like it in the fanny?
No, you're not into pain.
Yeah. Aaron, you're not worshiping Satan.
No.
I'm gonna have to up the over.
By the way, my favorite part, leave this out because I want
That's
to take
how
a picture of it.
technologically
I want to take a
am.
picture of this. I want to take a picture of this. Is like, this is you getting ready. This is some weird like memento thing.
That's a comics organization
From the 80s.
Yeah.
From the 80s. Aaron, anything else you want to push?
No, that's
Aaron,
it, man.
will you be Aaron?
Counterclockwise?
Counterclockwise.
Amazon Prime.
Aaron, anything you want to push?
No, sir.
Guys, thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I know there's a couple moments where I was too into the video for an audio podcast. My apologies. I just had my brains blown, so it was pretty amazing. I love doing this podcast. Please let me know what you think. You guys keep recommending people. I promise you I'm going to do whatever I can to get these guys that you want on the show. Eddie Bravo just did a Flat Earth podcast. I love Eddie with all my heart. I think he's a wonderful human being. I think he might be getting set up. And that's my opinion. I think he's getting set up to be the voice of that thing. And now this video just came out from Red Bull. Well, it's always been out. But it's like, everyone's like, if the Earth's flat, how come in the Red Bull video we can see it's a sphere, you know? And like, I am definitely not into the two conspiracies. Flat Earth is not my thing. Not saying it's not possible. I think anything is possible. And Michelle Obama is a man. I'm not into that either. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I haven't looked into it enough.
I just don't think. I think she's a totally.
She's a
The
woman,
reason they
yeah.
think that is the way her hands are, and the fact that there's no pictures of her pregnant. But those kids are Obama's kids.
Yeah.
They both. The one looks like Obama. One looks like Michelle.
Yeah, the only thing I've heard is when like Joan Rivers was like, we already have the first tranny president or something. Michelle Obama's a man, and then she kind of said it, and TMZ recorded it or something, and then she ended up dead a couple of weeks ago. I think that's a big piece of evidence for him. But
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Aaron, the Obamas killed Joan Rivers. God, I wonder if dude, we retract that last statement about Michelle Obama. She's a lovely, sexy-ass, strong black woman, and we respect the fuck out of her, and we want nothing. Boo, Joan Rivers! Boo! Guys, this has been Tinfoil Hat. I hope you guys enjoy it. I love doing it. Tell your friends. Check out the YouTube page. I love it very much. Aaron, again, thank you so much for coming
Thanks for
on.
having me, man.
Guys, we'll see you next week. I'm trying to get Lee Camp on to talk some deep state. So, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Aaron. We hope you woke up, man. It's time to wake up, Aaron. Wake up and drink from the fountain of knowledge.